I was one breath away. I was more in a state of death than being actually alive.
Quand moi je vois la première fois où j'ai vu Karen, tout ce par quoi elle est passée et maintenant, waouh!
I'm more of a fighter than I am a victim.
Je ne pensais pas qu'une personne était capable d'évoluer de cette manière-là.
Avec une mentalité d'athlète, peu possible.
My name is Karen Northschild, and this is No Days Off. I am a top athlete. I have always been involved in professional sports. Previously, I am a Belgian swimming champion, and I have wanted since a child to turn my passion into my profession, which is the case just leading up to 22 March 2016. I'm at the airport to catch a flight, and I'm standing in line at the baggage check-in, and just in a fraction of a second, I'm exploded by a ball. I'm swept off my feet, just like that, in the blink of an eye. I was intoxicated by the flames. I had major burns on my hands, so my hands had saved my face, basically. I had that instinct to protect my face as I felt the violence of the explosion. I remember seeing other baggages and people also in flames and severely injured like myself, and for the most part there were corpses lying in various areas of the airport, and I just remember losing consciousness and coming back. As I was breathing out my last breath, there was somebody that would be there to just, hold my hand or drag me out of the airport, and that was the case. Where I was first dragged out of the airport, I couldn't move. I was literally in shock. I was one breath away. I was more in a state of death than being actually alive. My heart stopped for several long minutes, several times. And when I had arrived at the hospital in the emergency unit, they had given me zero chance of survival. And just within one of the first operations, or that very first operation, I had lost 33 liters of blood. I literally landed in hell. I mean, you gotta be honest, that's what it was. Because it was my life where I was at age 30 that was completely, shattered. My hip, that was the major physical damage, so my hip completely exploded as well and shattered. My leg shattered into multiple pieces, and the doctors were able to put back together what was still alive, let's say. But I'm missing 10 centimeters on my leg, and there are hundreds of pieces of the bomb that are lodged on my body. And then the apparatus on my foot that helps me to stand and to, set one step forward, one after another. C'est fini.
Un an après les attentats, elle est arrivée au centre après son année passée à l'hôpital d'Erasme, en soins intensifs, puis après en soins hospitaliers. Et une fois qu'elle était stabilisée, elle est passée chez nous en centre de rééducation.
Ça a été dur.
Ah oui, ça faut tout réapprendre. Et nous, surtout, quand on a recommencé à travailler, c'était surtout recommencer tout doucement à se remettre debout, à reprendre des forces, à retravailler ce pied qui était comme atrophié suite à la bombe et le fait d'être alité pendant un an comme ça. Je vous dis, elle était vraiment tout le temps battante, même quand ça n'allait pas. Et même quand ça n'allait pas, on disait on va essayer de trouver quelque chose, faire un peu moins, mais elle était toujours à dire non, on va faire la séance. Même les autres patients sont surpris de la voir aussi battante comme ça, jour au jour.
Lâche. Tu t'assieds, tu mets bien la jambe droite, 2 et 3. Redresse, respire. Voilà.
Non.
Ok, ça y est.
Non.
I had dreams of becoming for example, like an Olympic athlete and as a swimmer, those are my big dreams. And then here, with the terrorist attack, it was like an Olympics that has of its own kind, you see, where it had chosen me, in some words. Life was throwing its challenges upon me. So accepting that, all that what happened is still part of my daily life. My body is still in a state of fight or flight, as if something dangerous would happen. Because I lost my stomach, I've lost other vital organs. My body no longer produces these necessary vitamins. So my doctor prescribes me various different like alternative medicines to kind of like do a detox. And then usually I prepare my swim bag. I go over to the pool to do that rehab there. Swimming I'm in my element, but it's more than just the physical aspect. Like I said, it's therapy. It really is therapy for me because I need the athlete that I am needs to move, and it's the only form of exercise that I can do today. I can no longer run, I can no longer cycle, I can no longer jump, all these different things. So I try to concentrate today on what I still can do. There are moments in the water where, I'm in my own world, I'm in my bubble, and I'm able to kind of like forget and kind of like surf the wave, like a surfing the wave. And you can find that instant where the moment of grace, I call it. It's a moment of grace where just everything's in harmony. There are times in the water where I'm not in battle with myself, or I'm not in battle with my handicaps, and where I'm not in conflict with my mind. I'm there, and I say, okay, I'm present, and it's okay. And for me, that's why it's a very powerful and sacred moment when I do swim. It's very important for me to have that connection with who I am at heart.
On nage ensemble et c'est motivant. C'est Karine parfois qui me dit, allez, maintenant on fait des sprints. Et j'ai du mal, hein. La première fois que je l'ai vu faire un virage dans l'eau, et j'ai vu la jambe gauche qui partait dans tous les sens, et j'avais en tout cas l'estomac. Et après quelques mois, j'ai vu la jambe gauche qui s'est rapprochée de plus en plus à l'autre jambe. Et un jour, je lui ai dit, waouh, le progrès que tu as fait. Et donc, je trouve qu'il y a cet esprit de compétitrice qui ressort.
Comment vous décrirez sa mentalité, sa personnalité?
Battante, d'acier, belle personne, très sensible, souriant, attentive. On continue? Sa métamorphose, sa rage d'avancer, c'est vraiment impressionnant.
Souffle, tu pousses. 7, inspire, souffle, tu pousses. 8, inspire.
Had I not been an athlete, I would not be here today. I don't have the mentality of a victim, you see. I prefer to overcome that status and overcome that challenge of saying, and grow from it and say, okay, I once was, but now I'm a fighter. I'm a perfectionist at heart. I think that in combination with the athlete that I am, I've always sought, even to this day, to set the bar higher, and I don't satisfy for less, you see. So when the doctors say, you're never going to be able to walk again, I say, no, I'm going to prove them wrong because I mean, come on. I mean, I'm an athlete. I can't tell somebody to tell me what to do, what my limits are. Victory!
It's impossible.
Elle avait le projet en tête de pouvoir créer une équipe avec des amis au 25 de Bruxelles en courant autour d'elle, en la poussant dans un fauteuil, dans un buggy. C'est clairement son retour à l'avant-plan, entouré aussi de beaucoup de gens. Je me souviens que je lui avais aussi dit est-ce que tu ne penses pas que les 20 km, c'est peut-être un trop gros événement pour commencer? Parce que entre participer à une course en étant poussé, accompagné par ses amis et le faire en étant entouré de 40 000 participants et des dizaines de milliers de spectateurs, mais elle l'avait en tête, comme tout sportif, je pense qu'elle l'avait déjà visualisé, de faire son comeback ici.
C'est pas nous qui poussons Karen, c'est elle qui nous tire en avant par son histoire, par son courage, par sa détermination. L'avant-dernière fois qu'on a fait les 20 km de Bruxelles, la première année après le Covid, on était 6 ou 7 à pousser. Il y en avait une qui était en forme et c'était Karen.
It was my first race after the attacks. And I'm able to, in some ways, although differently, it's not the same, but find the same adrenaline rush that the athlete goes through during a competition.
Moi, je l'ai vu grandir, s'ouvrir de plus en plus, reprendre confiance en l'être humain, parce qu'évidemment, quand on vit un drame comme celui-là, on ne peut plus faire confiance à l'être humain. On ne peut plus être spontané, lâcher prise, c'est quelque chose qui peut être quasiment impossible. Mais aujourd'hui, de nouveau, être une femme debout avec des envies, des projets, de l'enthousiasme, je répète aussi, de la confiance en la vie, la confiance en l'être humain, ça montre quand même que l'homme ou la femme est capable de faire de grandes choses.
Notre ambassadrice numéro 1 aujourd'hui, Karen Dorsfeld.
I stand in glory. You know, I've overcome probably life's biggest or one of life's biggest challenges ever with zero chance to survival, 60 operations and nearly 4 years at the hospital. So come on, keep going, keep putting one foot in front of the other, even if on some days, you know, there's more fatigue, if on some days my leg doesn't want to, if on some days, it's just saying, you know, there's always hope. There's always hope somewhere, you know, hiding behind the clouds. There's after the rain, there's sun. There must be a reason why I survived. And that keeps me pushing, that keeps me going forward.